The day my 6-year-old son spoke the truth, my marriage didn't just crack, it died right in front of me. He tugged my sleeve, his voice shaking as he whispered. Dad. Mom never loved you. She married you to save someone else. And she said you can't know. At first, I told myself he misunderstood. Kids mix things up, right? But then I saw her late-night messages. Her locked phone. Her fear whenever a certain name appeared on the screen. And when my son handed me his school drawing, a picture of his mom standing with another man. I realized he wasn't confused. He was warning me. That was the night I learned the truth. My wife didn't choose me. She was forced into my life long before I ever loved her. And the man who controls her fate is coming for mine next. I still remember the way the front door opened that afternoon. I heard the soft click, then the dragging of tiny feet across the floor. I looked up from my laptop and said, Liam. Buddy, that you? No answer. Just breathing. Slow, shaky, wrong. I stood up immediately. Hey, what's going on? Did something happen at school? He didn't look at me. His backpack slid off his shoulder and hit the floor with a soft thud. Then he walked toward me, gripping my shirt like he was afraid I'd disappear. Dad, his voice cracked. Can I tell you something? I knelt so we were eye level. Of course. Talk to me. He swallowed hard. Mom said, we're not your fate. I froze. What do you mean? He hesitated, eyes welling up. She said she didn't marry you because she loved you. She married you to help someone else. And she said, you can't know. My heart sank. Liam, who told you that? Mom. When? He shook his head quickly. You'll get mad. I promised I won't, I whispered. He tugged my shirt tighter, as if holding on for safety. She said it to someone on the phone. I heard her. I blinked several times. What phone call? He wiped his nose with his sleeve. Last night. When she went to the kitchen. She thought I was sleeping. I couldn't breathe for a moment. What exactly did she say? He whispered, she said, I did what you asked. I married him. I did everything for you. A coldness settled in my chest. Are you sure? You didn't mishear. He shook his head fiercely. Dad, I'm not lying. Before I could say anything else, the front door opened again. Adam? Liam? Elena's voice drifted in. Liam's fingers tightened painfully. Don't tell her, he whispered. I stood slowly as she walked in, smiling like nothing was wrong. Why do you both look so serious? We were just talking, I said, watching her closely. How was your day? She avoided my eyes. Long. I'm tired. Anything you want to tell me? I asked. Her forehead creased. About what? I don't know. Maybe, something you forgot to mention. She frowned. Adam, what are you talking about? Your late-night phone call, I said. Her reaction was instant, her shoulders tensed, her breath hitched. What phone call? You tell me. She stepped back. Are you spying on me now? Is that what we're doing? Why would I need to spy? I shot back. If there's nothing to hide. She crossed her arms. I think you're overthinking. Again. Liam flinched at her tone, so I kept mine level. Just answer me. There's nothing, she snapped. And even if there was, I don't need to justify every call I make. Her phone buzzed on the table. She lunged for it almost desperately, pressing it against her chest. I raised an eyebrow. Really? She took a breath, forcing a smile. Adam, can we not do this in front of him? I heard the doorbell. Mrs. Howard, Liam's school counselor, stepped inside with a polite nod. Sorry to drop by unannounced. I needed to speak about something important. Is it about Liam? I asked quickly. Yes. She crouched near him. Sweetheart, you seemed frightened today in class. You told me someone at home said something scary. Elena shot me a glare. What did he say? Mrs. Howard touched Liam's shoulder gently. He said he feels unsafe because adults around him are hiding things. Elena stiffened. We don't hide anything. Liam whispered, you do. Her face changed, fear, anger, something else. Liam, stop. You're just confused. He looked up at her. I'm not. Mrs. Howard stood. I think he needs reassurance from both of you. Something at home is worrying him deeply. I nodded. Thank you for coming. We'll talk. She left quietly, leaving the three of us in thick silence. I turned to Elena. Why is our son scared of you? She slammed her bag on the table. I'm done with this conversation. She stormed toward the hallway. Before she could disappear, I asked, who were you talking to last night? She froze, back turned to me. No one. Drop it. Then look me in the eyes and say it. She didn't move. When she finally turned, her voice was low. I can't keep doing this. You're paranoid, Adam. I'm observant, I said. There's a difference. You're impossible, she muttered, heading upstairs. The house fell silent. I sat beside Liam. Buddy, you can tell me everything. Did you hear anything else? He bit his lip. She said someone was watching us. And she said, you're not supposed to know the truth yet. My stomach tightened. The truth about what? He reached into his backpack and pulled out a folded piece of paper. I made this in art class. I wanted to show you before Mom saw it. I opened it. A crayon drawing. A woman with long hair, Elena. A tall man standing beside her. Their hands almost touching. A small boy drawn far away, with a sad face. My breath caught. Who is this man? I asked quietly. Liam whispered, the man she talks to when you're asleep. I stared at the drawing, feeling the ground shift beneath me. My son wasn't confused. He was warning me. And everything I thought I knew about my marriage was about to fall apart. I barely slept after seeing Liam's drawing. By morning, my head pounded, and every sound in the house felt wrong. When I walked into the kitchen, Elena stiffened like she'd been caught stealing. She slid her phone under a napkin. You're up early. I couldn't sleep, I said. We need to talk. She opened the fridge instead. Not now. When? I asked. After our son hears another secret. She slammed the fridge shut. Adam, stop twisting things. I'm asking questions, I said calmly. Questions you keep avoiding. Her jaw clenched. Because you're asking the wrong ones. Before I could answer, her phone rang. She glanced at the screen and went pale. I stepped closer. Who is it? No one. She grabbed the phone and walked toward the back door. It's him, isn't it? I said. The man in the drawing. She paused, hand on the doorknob. You don't know what you're talking about. Then tell me. She slipped outside and shut the door behind her. I stared at the glass, watching her argue in sharp, frantic movements. I couldn't hear her words, but I saw the fear. Then I heard a small voice. Dad, she's talking to Dee again. I turned to Liam. Who's Dee? He fidgeted with his pajama sleeve. I heard her say the name yesterday. She said, Dee, you promised me he wouldn't get hurt. My stomach tightened. And you're sure she said Dee? He nodded. Like the letter. I rubbed my forehead. Okay, buddy. Go get ready for school. As soon as he left, I walked into the living room, opened Elena's laptop, and typed her password, the birth year she thought I'd forgotten. It unlocked. I checked her emails first. Nothing. Clean. Too clean. Then I searched through the folders, trying to ignore my shaking hands. One folder sat buried inside another. Temple 9, do not open. My chest tightened. I clicked. A screen full of documents appeared, bank transfers, unfamiliar names, hidden accounts. And then a message thread. My eyes locked onto one line. Marry him. He is the key to your future. The sender's name, D. Ward. I whispered, who the hell are you? Footsteps approached. I clicked out just before Elena walked in. Her eyes narrowed. Why are you on my laptop? It was open, I lied. No, it wasn't. She crossed her arms. What did you see? Why? I asked. Is there something to hide? She laughed coldly. You're not ready for the truth. Then make me ready. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. Adam, you don't want to know who you really are. The words sliced straight into my chest. Who I really am. I repeated. What's that supposed to mean? You'll hate me if I tell you. I already don't recognize you. For a moment, she looked almost sad. Then she whispered, please stop digging. I can't. She shook her head, grabbed her purse, and stormed out. As the door slammed, my phone buzzed. A text from Uncle Simon. Need to talk. Urgent. I know what's happening. Don't trust anyone. I called him instantly. Simon, what do you know? His voice trembled. Adam, someone has been watching you for years. This didn't start with your marriage. What does that mean? You were chosen, he whispered. And Elena knows why. Chosen for what? I can't say over the phone, he said. Meet me tonight. I want answers now. Tonight, he repeated. And don't tell Elena. The line went dead. I sat there, gripping the phone so tightly my knuckles turned white. When I picked up Liam from school, he climbed into the back seat quietly. Dad. Mom talked to Dee again. I swallowed. Did you hear anything? She said, he's starting to remember. You told me this wouldn't happen. My chest tightened. Remember what? He shook his head. I don't know. At home, Elena was pacing the living room. She stopped the moment she saw us. We need to talk, she said sharply. No, I said. We're done talking unless you're honest. She pressed her hands to her temples. Adam, you're forcing something dangerous. What could be so dangerous that I can't know the truth about myself? Her eyes glistened, not with guilt, but fear. He won't stop if you keep pushing. Who won't? She backed away. Please, stop. I took a slow breath. You married me because someone told you to. Just say it. She whispered, yes. The air left my lungs. And D. Ward is the one who told you? She looked down. Adam, you don't understand what he is. Then explain it. I can't, she said. If I do, you'll be dragged into something you can't escape. I stepped closer. Too late. I'm already in it. She wiped her face, trembling. I married you to protect you. From what? From your own past. Her words echoed in my head. My past? I don't have a past worth hiding. She whispered, you do. You just don't remember. Silence fell between us, heavy and suffocating. I finally asked, who am I, Elena? She opened her mouth, but her phone rang again. The same number. The same fear in her eyes. She backed away like I was the danger now. Don't answer that call, Adam. Don't chase this. Don't look for him. Who? D. Ward, she whispered. If you find him, your life will never be the same. And then she walked upstairs, leaving me alone with a single haunting realization. She wasn't hiding a lover. She was hiding my identity. I stared at my phone for a long minute before calling Uncle Simon. The fear in my chest was tightening by the second. When he picked up, his voice sounded heavy. Adam? You okay? No, I whispered. I need answers. Now. There was a pause. Come over. Anne, come alone. When I reached his place, the first thing I said was, tell me everything. No more half-truths. He sighed. You found something, didn't you? I found enough to make me question my entire life, I said. Hidden messages, money transfers. Elena connected to someone named Daniel Ward. Uncle Simon's eyes dropped. So it's time. I clenched my fists. Time for what? He motioned for me to sit. I didn't. Talk, Simon. Please. All right. He rubbed his face. Your father made a deal. Years before you were born. A private agreement with Daniel Ward's family. My heart thudded. What kind of deal? A binding one, he muttered. A contract that involved you. My stomach twisted. Me? I wasn't even alive. That didn't matter. You were the insurance. The leverage. I stepped back. Start explaining. He finally looked me in the eye. Your father owed Daniel's father a massive debt. To secure peace, they created a future arrangement. Whichever family had more power when you turned 25 would take control of certain assets. Old companies. Old land. Influence. You were the symbol of that balance. I felt the room tilt. So what does that have to do with Elena? She's not random, Adam. His voice dropped lower. Daniel chose her. My breath stopped. Chose her for what? To marry you, he said. To secure the balance of the agreement. If she married you, Daniel's side gained leverage. I shook my head hard. No. That's insane. Elena didn't even know me. She didn't have to. His tone grew cold. It was arranged through her mother and your father's lawyer, Harris. Harris, I whispered. The same name in the emails I found. Because he was the bridge, Simon said. Elena was sent into your life. I felt heat crawl up my neck. Sent, to marry me. Yes. The word hit me like a blade. I choked out, so the last 7 years, everything was a lie. He didn't answer. That hurt more than anything. I staggered back, trying to breathe. Why didn't my father tell me? Because he died before he could fix it, Simon whispered. He planned to break the agreement. He just ran out of time. A sharp vibration came from my phone. A message. I looked down. Private number. You're digging too deep, Adam. Stop before you ruin everything. Simon saw my face pale. Who is it? Daniel, I muttered. He's watching me. Simon grabbed my shoulder. Listen. If Daniel is reaching out directly, you need to be careful. He doesn't threaten unless he feels his grip slipping. I tried to steady my voice. I need to talk to Elena again. Adam. I have to, I snapped. She owes me the truth. I left before he could stop me. When I got home, Elena was sitting on the sofa, staring at her phone. She flinched when she saw me. You're home early, she said. Drop the act, I said. We're done pretending. Her smile faded. What's that supposed to mean? I talked to Simon. Her face tightened. Adam, don't. He told me everything. I cut her off. About the deal. About Daniel. About why you married me. She stood slowly. You shouldn't have asked him. Why not? My voice cracked. Because it ruins the story you built. The lies you stacked around me. Stop shouting, she whispered. Then start talking. I yelled. Tell me why my life was decided before I even existed. She wrapped her arms around herself. Because you're not who you think you are. My heart pounded. What does that mean? You're part of something bigger, she said. Something dangerous. Something your father tried to escape. I stepped closer. And you? What were you? The chain meant to keep me trapped. Tears filled her eyes. I didn't want this life, Adam. But you accepted it. I had no choice, she whispered. Everyone has a choice. No, she said bitterly. Not when Daniel controls everything. Not when my mother trades my future for her own safety. I froze. Your mother forced you. She nodded weakly. She told me you'd protect me. That marrying you would keep Daniel from destroying our family. She said you were harmless. I stared. Harmless? Her eyes flickered away. Compared to him. A coldness spread through me. Were you ever going to tell me? No, she admitted. Because once you knew, everything would change. Everything already changed, I said. A small sound echoed from the hallway. I turned as Liam peeked out, eyes wide. Dad? Are you fighting again? I knelt, swallowing the ache in my throat. Come here, buddy. He ran into my arms. Mom was crying, he whispered. I held him close. It's okay. I'm here. Elena wiped her face. Adam, please, don't drag him into this. He's already in it, I said. He hears things. He sees things. He knows something's wrong. Liam tugged my shirt. Dad. I heard Mom talking to that man again. Elena closed her eyes. I stood slowly. Who were you talking to? She didn't answer. Daniel? I pressed. Silence. That told me everything. I turned toward the door. I'm done asking. I'm going to see Harris. He'll tell me the truth. You can't, she whispered. Watch me. As I grabbed my keys, the front door creaked. I froze. Elena looked terrified. I heard a voice outside. Deep. Smooth. Dangerous. Elena, the voice murmured, we need to talk. Now. My blood ran cold. Daniel Ward was here. And as Elena rushed toward the door, whispering, he still doesn't know the real truth, I followed them into the night. I kept my distance, sticking to the shadows as Elena and Daniel slipped into the abandoned warehouse near the river. My heart hammered so hard I could hear it in my ears. Crates stacked high formed a perfect blind spot. I crouched behind them, trying to steady my breathing. You know what I need, Daniel's voice echoed. Calm, but sharp. I know, Elena replied, her tone softer, hesitant. I was only supposed to stay with him until the deal was opened. I clenched my fists. My stomach churned. But I couldn't, she whispered. I fell in love with him, and that ruined everything. I froze. She loves me. My chest tightened, torn between relief and rage. Daniel laughed, low and cruel. Love? You're useless if you let emotions get in the way. Finish the deal, or your son pays the price. My blood boiled. My son. I muttered under my breath. Liam's face flashed in my mind, terrified at home, clueless. Elena's hand trembled. Adam, don't. I couldn't stop myself. I stepped forward, slamming a crate. Enough. Daniel spun, eyes narrowing. Who's there? It's me. I shouted. Adam. Your threats end here. Elena gasped. Adam. Step aside, I said, voice shaking. Or you'll see what I'm capable of. Daniel sneered. So emotional. You don't even know what's coming. You threatened my son, I said, stepping closer. You've crossed the line. He smirked. Then maybe he shouldn't have been born into this mess. I lunged, knocking him backward. He stumbled but didn't fall. A huge man, his bodyguard, appeared from the shadows. My fists met resistance. A struggle erupted, metal clangs and grunts echoing through the warehouse. Elena, get back. I shouted, but she stepped between us. Her hands were on my chest, pushing me away. Stop, Adam. You'll ruin everything, she cried. Daniel regained his balance and drew a small device from his pocket. You think you're clever? He's already set the trap. What trap? I demanded, furious. Elena's eyes darted to his hand. It's his phone, there's a recording. Before I could react, she grabbed it, pressing a button. A chilling voice filled the warehouse. Drug him, Elena. Make sure he sleeps through it. Take the inheritance and run. Do not fail me. My knees nearly buckled. The voice. Daniel's voice. You were going to drug me? I yelled. You. I didn't. Elena shouted, tears streaming. I couldn't. I love you. That's why I stayed, Adam. That's why I warned you. Daniel's face twisted in fury. You betray me, and your son dies. I felt the rage I'd kept bottled explode. I surged forward, shoving him back, fists swinging. His bodyguard jumped in, but Elena's desperate shout froze me mid-punch. Stop. Listen to me, she yelled. He's not going to hurt you if we do this together. Her hand trembled, pointing the phone at Daniel. I have proof. You're finished. Daniel froze for a second. Then lunged at her. I reacted instantly, tackling him to the ground. The guard scrambled to intervene, but Elena kicked him aside, joining me in holding Daniel down. Adam, now, she screamed, pressing the phone against Daniel's chest. The recording blared again. Daniel's eyes widened, then narrowed in pure rage. You little. A sudden sound cut through the chaos, distant sirens. Red and blue flashes bounced off the warehouse walls. What is that? I shouted. Police, Elena said, eyes wide. Detective Clark. He's been tracking Daniel for months. Daniel roared, struggling, but the sirens grew louder. The bodyguard froze, realizing the end was near. I looked down at Elena. Why didn't you tell me earlier? I couldn't risk you knowing, she said, voice shaking. I had to protect Liam, and you. I didn't want Daniel to hurt anyone. I thought I could control him, but he's too dangerous. I gritted my teeth. You've endangered me. You've endangered him. I gestured toward the door, thinking of Liam. She cupped my face. I stayed because I love you. That's why I stopped him. That's why I warned you before. Daniel struggled harder, yelling, but the sound of approaching police drowned him out. I held him down tighter. Adam, please, Elena whispered. Keep him away from Liam. Promise me. I promise, I said, fury and relief mixing. I won't let anyone hurt him. Red and blue lights flooded the warehouse as Detective Clark and his team stormed in. Daniel's face went pale. The bodyguard froze. Elena grabbed my hand, holding it tightly. I looked around at the chaos, chest heaving, and felt a cold clarity settle over me. Everything had broken tonight, my trust, my world, my illusions, but I was still here. Liam was safe, Elena was alive, and the truth was finally in my hands. I stepped back, gripping her hand. "It's over," I said. Elena shook her head. "Not yet. But it will be, if we survive this night." And I realized that night wasn't just a turning point, it was the moment everything I thought I knew shattered, leaving only one path forward: survival, protection, and uncovering every last lie. The sirens faded behind us as Daniel and his bodyguard were handcuffed. Detective Clark barked orders, securing evidence and reading rights. I stood frozen, my chest pounding, staring at the man who had tried to control my life before I even understood it. "You okay, Adam?" Clark asked, scanning the warehouse. I nodded, though my hands were still shaking. "Yeah. I think so. It's finally over." Elena collapsed into the nearest crate, covering her face with her hands. I can't believe it," she whispered, voice broken. I stepped closer. "Elena, talk to me. Please." She lifted her tear-streaked face. "Adam, I have to tell you everything. I wasn't supposed to love you. I was forced into this marriage by my mother and Daniel's threats. They said I had to stay, keep you close, and follow orders." I clenched my jaw. "And Liam?" She looked at our son, who clung to my leg. "He became my only truth. The one thing I could protect honestly. The one part of this lie I could make real." I swallowed hard. "So, all this time, you were trying to survive? Protect me?" "Yes," she whispered. "And slowly. I fell in love with you. But I was terrified, Adam. Terrified that one mistake, one slip, would hurt you or Liam." My mind spun. Betrayal, love, anger, relief, they tangled inside me like a storm. I wanted to scream, demand everything, push her away, but I couldn't. Liam's small hand on mine reminded me what really mattered. "You really loved me?" I asked quietly, voice catching. "Yes," she breathed. "I loved you from the moment I realized I could choose you. Not Daniel, not my mother, you." I stared at her, struggling with the flood of emotions. "You lied to me. Hid everything. Risked everything. And yet, you saved me." "I had no choice," she said. "Not completely. But I chose us." The police were moving Daniel's evidence, hidden accounts, false contracts, forged signatures, everything that proved he'd manipulated both our families for decades. Detective Clark handed me a folder. "Your father's inheritance. Cleaned and secured. Daniel won't touch a penny." I opened it carefully, scanning the documents. Relief and disbelief surged through me. Daniel's schemes, the control, the threats, all undone. Elena stepped closer, brushing my arm gently. "I'm ready for any punishment, Adam, except losing you." I exhaled slowly. I looked down at Liam, who stared up at me with wide eyes, innocent and trusting. "We can't undo the past," I said softly. "But we can choose the future." She nodded, tears spilling freely. "I'll do anything to make it right. Protect Liam. Protect you." I gritted my teeth, thinking about every lie, every secret, every fear she'd carried, and every moment she tried to undo the damage. "I forgive you," I said finally. The words felt heavy, but true. Not because she deserved it, but because destiny didn't belong to Daniel. It belonged to us. She blinked, disbelief and relief mixing on her face. "You forgive me?" "Yes," I said, pulling her into a tight embrace. "Because I love you, and because I won't let him," I nodded toward the now empty warehouse, "or anyone else decide our life." Liam ran into my arms, wrapping his small arms around my neck. "Daddy," he whispered. "I'm here, buddy," I said. "Safe. Everything's okay now." Detective Clark approached. "We'll need statements, of course. But you've done the right thing. You both kept a clear head in a dangerous situation." I nodded, grateful. "Thank you." Later, outside the courthouse, Elena stood in the morning sun, her face pale but determined. "Adam, whatever happens in there, whatever consequences. I'm ready. But I'm not ready to lose you or Liam." I took her hand, squeezing it. "We'll face it together." She smiled faintly, the weight of truth finally lifting from her shoulders. "Thank you, for trusting me. For forgiving me." I glanced at Liam, holding his tiny hand. "It's done," I whispered to myself. "We survived. And now we decide our life." The courtroom doors closed behind the police and Daniel, but outside, the world felt different. Brighter. Clearer. I felt my heart lighten, knowing the lies, the manipulation, and the fear no longer controlled us. "Elena," I said softly, "we have a chance to build something real. No more secrets, no more threats. Just us." She rested her forehead against mine. "Just us," she echoed. I bent down to Liam's level. "Ready to go home, buddy?" He nodded, smiling for the first time in days. "Home," he said. I held both of their hands, feeling the weight of the past slip away. The storm had passed. The lies were exposed. Daniel's control destroyed. And as we walked away from the courthouse together, I realized that destiny never belonged to him, never belonged to anyone else. It belonged to us. For the first time in years, I felt peace. We were free. And we would stay that way.